drive, doing a quick pop in again, going through the just the day-to-day routine. I was gonna pop in yesterday. I wasn't feeling great yesterday, so I decided not to. But welcome in, everybody. If you're just coming in, make sure you hit that like on the way in. We're gonna get right into it today. I don't have too much time on this commute. Is something I was discussing with one of my peers the other day, and something that I think is really misconstrued. What's up, Darren? Good to see you, bud. Something that's misconstrued as part of, I noticed a lot of women and these modern day male feminists bring up this subject of vulnerability. Like, true vulnerability is a strength, and a real man's vulnerable with his woman. Guys, it's all bullshit. The stuff I come on here and tell y'all that's personal about me, that's not me being vulnerable. That's me telling you my experience. I'm not really exposing anything. Matter of fact, vulnerability is reserved for a chosen few trusted people in your life that can actually take this deep information about yourself, your current state, or your experiences, and actually be able to help you sort through and listen in sort of a release. So no, I'm not vulnerable on here. Do I tell y'all some personal things based on my experience and certain aspects of coaching and my one-on-ones? Yeah, but it's not vulnerability. That's just something that I've gone through and that I have permission from clients to go over, which I don't even use names, just to give insight and be able to relate. I don't think the general public has earned, and probably never will, that access to me, the things that I'm truly vulnerable about, that expose me totally. And there's also this big, and this is just a manipulation tactic, is to be vulnerable with your woman and show you, no, it's not. That's not the way to do it. That's not what it's designed. You're vulnerable. The things that make you vulnerable, that you really open and expose to, are sacred ground. It doesn't mean your relationship with your lady, your romantic partner, is not sacred ground. But there are still certain things that there's no benefit to a man fully exposing himself to his woman. That's vulnerability. If you really look at it for what is it, it's exposing your weaknesses. That's not necessary to be understood. You can be very superficial and surface about your experiences and things that have affected you over your life without being totally exposing yourself and showing full vulnerability. That's for a few chosen, trusted people in your life, lifelong friends, that will actually take who you are and your character in a whole and work with you to solve and resolve things. And a lot of people don't like to hear this, but you being totally vulnerable with your woman only sets a trap for you later. There's no circumstance where it's necessary for you to be totally 100% transparent and vulnerable to your woman. There's no circumstance that requires that to resolve something or work through something, or get to know each other better. And I explain to people the masculine and feminine dynamic. It's not part of the dynamic. The masculine qualities is true, total 100% vulnerability. That's not healthy. That's information that does not need to be disclosed other than to be used down the line to weaponize it against you at some point. And that's typically what happens. If there's a woman being vulnerable to her man, yes, that's the order. That's a natural order of things. You don't go expose yourself and your insecurities and weaknesses to the person who looks up to you to come to you with their weaknesses and insecurities. Do you see how that's kind of a conflict of interest? So don't fall for it. Your vulnerability is not community property or standard information. These are the deepest, darkest reaches of yourself that only a privileged few have access to. It's a total. Now, can you just be an emotionally cold fish in your whole relationship and you be the stoic, by the book guy in your relationship? No, I'm not saying that. But it's an extreme swing to say cold and stoic to fully vulnerable. There's a lot of gray area in there that's unaddressed and nuanced, to where you being vulnerable only puts yourself in an inferior position and opens the opportunity for your vulnerabilities to be used against you, to be weaponized against you later. So don't fall for it. Your vulnerabilities are not required. Full disclosure of who you are and the deepest inner workings of you are not required to maintain and cultivate a healthy relationship. That's a manipulation tactic that they're using to weaken masculine men. Don't fall for it. There should be one, maybe two people who have no emotional attachment to you romantically. Typically an older mentor or a clergyman or something that you go to with your most private stuff that really understands you in that depth. Everybody else, no access. I'm sure somebody will come across this and say, well, you're a misogynist and yeah, you're a macho man and you're the, toxic masculine guy. Say what you want. I know better. Ask me how. Because in the past, I thought that was the key. Let her know everything. Be fully open. Because I got that shit advice years ago. Not every woman will use it against you. You're a misogynist. Yeah. So what? Say what you want. Trust me on this one. Keep it to yourself. Your vulnerabilities are yours. It's sacred ground. Only a few trusted people have access to that. People that have proven themselves in your life over and over and over again. And the energy and the knowledge is reciprocal between you and said person. Your girlfriend, your wife, your lover is not the person. It's not necessary. So I'm sure this will be misconstrued and thrown up as bullshit, but whatever. Feel free to have your opinions. I'm going to stick with what I know and what life experience has taught me. And I suggest you do the same. That's why I'm here. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. All the fellas out there. It's almost over. I hope you're going with the program and reaching out to some friends during this time and checking on people that you don't normally talk to, or just telling your friend how much you value them. Reach out to somebody you haven't talked to in a while and let them know you miss them and you're thinking about them. It goes a long way. I just wanted to drop in and say that, just a quick one today. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you have not yet, hit that like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll see y'all on the next one.